From the hair to the heels, everything about the 80s seemed bigger and more daring to the point where it's almost laughable. This was the era of the very out there aesthetics, as we often see in wealthy homes, where mirrored walls and oversized aquariums were a dime a dozen. If you yearn for that period, come with me and explore 10 hilarious knickknacks only the rich had in the 1980s. Intercom system. If you wanted to know if someone was living the high life back then, all you had to do was look out for the little luxuries that set them apart. Take, for instance, the intercom system. While the most of us were hollering up the stairs or wandering from room to room, the wealthy were indulging in high-tech convenience instead of raising their voices. They just tap a button and speak into a sleek intercom mounted on the wall. What's on the menu tonight? Or has Fluffy been fed? These were the kinds of questions they'd toss around effortlessly thanks to their fancy intercom setup. It was like something out of a sci-fi movie, but for them, it was just everyday life. Having an intercom system was a status symbol that couldn't be faked. Only the really well-off could afford such luxury. Having an intercom was like saying, "Hey, look at me. I'm so loaded I don't even need to raise my voice to communicate with my own home." And oh, the envy it stirred up among us regular folks. But you know what they say? Mo money, mo intercoms, jacuzzi. Some would argue that the heart-shaped jacuzzi is the epitome of extravagance in the 1980s. Imagine stepping into a bathroom and being greeted not by a dusty bathtub, but by a luxurious heart-shaped jacuzzi. It was like something out of a romantic fantasy. Something with swirling bubbles and maybe a glass of champagne nearby. It screamed opulence, showing off to anyone who stepped foot into the bathroom that you were living the high life, and let's be real, who wouldn't want to soak in a tub shaped like a giant heart? What's fascinating is that these symbols of excess weren't just confined to the homes of the super rich. Even some motels known for their budget accommodations boasted heart-shaped jacuzzis in their rooms, and I have to say, it really added a touch of romance to these roadside stays. Neon light sculpture. If you were truly wealthy during that era, you wouldn't settle for traditional overhead lighting to brighten up your living space. No, you'd go all out and adorn your home with dazzling neon light sculptures that served more as works of art than sources of illumination. Sure, they may not have been the most practical form for lighting for reading or writing, but who cared about that when you had a neon light sculpture casting its vibrant glow across the room? It made for an atmosphere of luxury and indulgence, where every corner of your home reminded guests that you were rich. Central vacuum cleaners. If the thought of lugging a bulky vacuum cleaner from room to room was too much to bear, then central vacuuming was the solution of your dreams. Instead of dragging a heavy vacuum up and down stairs or moving it around furniture, all you had to do was attach your vacuum hose to a port conveniently located in one of your rooms. With a simple flick of a switch, you'd be ready to tackle those dusty floors with ease. Central vacuum systems were a marvel of modern convenience. They made the chore of vacuuming a breeze. Plus, they offered superior suction power compared to traditional vacuum cleaners, making sure that your floors were left sparkling clean with minimal effort. For the affluent homeowners of the 80s, central vacuum cleaners were a must-have feature in their lavish abodes. It was yet another way to showcase their sophistication, proving that they could afford the latest and greatest in home technology. Novelty phones. Novelty phones were the ultimate statement of style and personality in the 1980s. While cell phones were still a rarity during that era, those who wanted to stand out from the crowd turned to these quirky devices as a way to express their individuality. With a novelty phone, you would find yourself talking into a phone shaped like a hamburger or even a pair of lips. Novelty phones were all about adding whimsy to the mundane act of making a call. Whether you were chatting with your friends or dialing up your out-of-town lover, doing so on a phone cleverly disguised as something else was sure to set the right tone for the conversation to come. These novelty phones were works of art in their own right. From retro diner-style telephones shaped like milkshakes to phones shaped like cartoon characters. There was no limit to the creativity on display. Ring, ring. Hello? Yeah, this is Marshall calling you from my Garfield phone. Don't hang up. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just calling you about maybe giving this video a like. Oh, and stick around till the end while you're at it just for kicks, if not for anything. That's all. Bye-bye. Basement bars. If your parents were the type to enjoy a good time, then chances are your basement wasn't just a storage space or laundry room. It was a full-fledged entertainment hub. Imagine descending the stairs into a cozy enclave with wood-paneled walls, dim lighting, and a fully stoked bar. The air filled with the sound of clinking glasses, laughter, and maybe even the occasional Kenny Loggins record playing on a stereo system. What truly set these basement bars apart was their ability to take you to another world. A world where the worries of the day melted away as you sipped on a perfectly crafted Tom Collins or enjoyed a glass of fine wine. And all the while, the kids were off in a corner, caught up in a game of Atari or Nintendo, adding to the ambiance with their shouts and cheers. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Round beds. While they may have been impractical in some ways, there's no denying the round bed status as a staple in upscale homes during the era. Sure, finding sheets to fit these mattresses was a bit of a challenge, and arranging furniture around them could be tricky. But for those who valued style over practicality, round beds were a must-have accessory. They added a touch of drama and flair to any bedroom, instantly elevating it to the realm of high fashion and sophistication. And let's not forget the sheer comfort of sleeping on a round bed. With its plush mattress and ample space to stretch out, it was like sinking into a cloud of luxury every night. Plus, the shape allowed for endless possibilities when it came to bedding and decor, making it a favorite among interior design aficionados. Apple Lisa. Ah, the Apple Lisa, a classic example of 80s tech that was both groundbreaking and, well, a bit comical in hindsight. And there's nothing funny about owning a home computer. The astronomical price tag and limited functionality of the Lisa certainly raised a few eyebrows back in the day. Imagine shelling out nearly $10,000 for a computer that could only do word processing and basic calculations. It's a bit hard to wrap your head around, especially when you consider the plethora of affordable and feature-rich computers available today. But hey, in defense of the Lisa, it was a pioneer in many ways. It introduced the world to graphical user interface and the mouse, paving the way for the modern computing experience we all know and love. But its exorbitant price tag and propensity for crashing didn't exactly endear it to the masses. Now the Apple Lisa serves as a reminder of the early days of personal computing, when innovation often came with a hefty price tag and a fair share of glitches. While it may have been a bit of a flop in terms of sales and practicality, its impact on the tech industry can't be denied. Glass staircases. While the mere thought of walking a staircase surrounded by panes of glass prone to shattering might send shivers down your spine, it didn't deter 80s interior designers from incorporating them into countless homes. The steps seemingly floated mid-air, supported only by transparent panels of glass. It was a breathtaking sight, to be sure, but also one that came with a certain element of risk. After all, glass isn't exactly known for its durability, and the thought of a misstep leading to shattered shards of glass raining down was enough to make anyone watch their step. For those who valued style over safety, which was a rare few, mind you, glass staircases were a must-have in their homes. They added a touch of modernity, creating a sense of openness and lightness in any space. Plus, they were a surefire conversation starter, eliciting oohs and ahs from the guests as they marveled at the daring design choice. Glass staircases were a quintessential feature of 80s interior design, a symbol of the era's embrace of bold and unconventional aesthetics. While they may have been perilous at times, there's no denying their visual aspect and ability to transform any staircase into a statement piece. So if you've ever found yourself gingerly making your way up or down a glass staircase in the 80s, you are experiencing a piece of design history, albeit one that came with a fair share of risks. And there you have it. So which of these did you want to have in your home back then? I personally would have loved to have an intercom at home. It just had a super spy feel to it, you know? But enough about me. How about you? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below, and if you liked the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.